You know that exact moment when you board a long flight, right? Like you're making that slow, shuffling march toward the back of the airplane.
Oh yeah, the walk of shame past all the nice seats.
Exactly. You pass through business class and you're, trying not to look jealous at the people who are already sipping their pre-flight beverages. The air literally smells like hot
It's
towels.
a completely different world up there.
It really is. And then right before you hit that vast crowded sea of standard economy, you walk through this mysterious, slightly nicer looking section of seats.
Yeah, where the cabin lighting seems just a little bit softer.
Right, and the passengers look, I don't know, visibly more relaxed. And as you drag your carry-on past them, hitting every seat on the way, you always find yourself wondering, like, is that actually worth the money?
It's the ultimate travel temptation. I mean, you are doing the mental math right there in the aisle, wondering if you should have just clicked upgrade when you booked the ticket, like 3 months ago.
I do it every single time. So today, we are answering that exact question. We're going deep into a recent breakdown by Archana Valu. This was written for Skyscanner India in June 2026, and it's titled, All You Need to Know About Premium Economy Flights.
It's a really fantastic resource.
It is. We are going to look at the raw physical math of the upgrade. When it actually makes financial sense for those marathon international routes and who is actually delivering on the promise. Because the differences between airlines are staggering.
Oh, they are completely all over the map.
Right. So, okay, let's unpack this.
Let's look at the physical reality first, because before we can even touch the price tag, we have to understand the hardware. What are you actually getting?
Right. It's not just a fancy name.
No, not at all. We are talking about a seat width increase to around 18 and 19.5 inches. You get an expansion of 5 to 7 inches in legroom, and crucially, a recline increase of 6 to 8 inches.
And let's translate those numbers into the actual lived experience for you, because numbers on a screen are one thing.
Yeah, what does that actually feel like?
Well, I like to think of standard economy as like a basic office cubicle.
Right.
It is highly functional, it gets the job done, but it is undeniably tight.
You're very aware of your neighbors.
Hyper aware. You are fighting a territorial war over a 2-inch armrest for 12 hours. Premium economy is, it's like finally getting the corner desk.
That's a great way to put it.
You aren't in the executive boardroom with a lie-flat bed, obviously, but you suddenly have personal sovereignty. You have a perimeter.
What's fascinating here is the physical mechanism behind that space, especially the recline. I mean, 6 to 8 extra inches doesn't just mean leaning back a bit further. It fundamentally changes the biomechanics of how your body rests over a 15-hour period.
Which is huge, because in a standard economy seat, you are sitting mostly upright at roughly, a 90 to 100 degree angle?
Yeah, exactly.
That means your lower back, your lumbar spine, is basically bearing almost 100% of your upper body weight for an entire day.
Which is exactly why you wake up with that deep, terrible ache in your lower back.
I hate that feeling.
We all do. That extra recline physically transfers a massive portion of your body weight off your spine and distributes it along the backrest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then you combine that deeper angle with the adjustable leg rests, the calf rests, and those dedicated foot rests that come standard in this cabin, and you are literally changing the physics of your circulation.
Right, because it elevates your legs just enough to take the pressure off your sciatic nerve, I assume.
Exactly. And that reduces the risk of deep vein thrombosis, too. It's the difference between standing at attention and lounging in a recliner in your living room. You are finally allowing your muscles to physically disengage.
Which is impossible in standard economy. And, the airlines aren't just selling you a bigger chair with better ergonomics either. They're selling you a barrier.
Yes, the physical divider.
Right. There is usually a solid bulkhead or like a heavy curtain separating you from the 200 people in standard economy. And honestly, that barrier is arguably as valuable as the legroom.
It really is. A dedicated cabin with fewer passengers fundamentally alters the acoustic and psychological environment of the flight.
Because it's just quieter, right?
Yeah, it alters the acoustics because human bodies and luggage absorb sound. Having fewer people per square foot means a drastic reduction in ambient chaos.
Right, less hustle and bustle.
Exactly. It means fewer people bumping your shoulder as they walk down the aisle to stretch. It means significantly shorter lines for the lavatories. You are buying a psychologically calmer environment,
And it also bleeds into the airport experience, which the article points out. You get priority check-in, you get priority boarding, faster security lanes.
which saves so much stress.
It really does. You even get elevated food and those little amenity kits with eye masks and earplugs. They are systematically removing the micro frictions of air travel before you even get on the plane.
But friction reduction comes at a cost, right? The data from the Skyscanner piece shows premium economy is generally 20 to 80% more expensive than standard economy on the exact same flight.
Which is a pretty wide range.
It is, yeah. But it still remains roughly 50 to 70% cheaper than business class.
Okay, well, I'm going to play devil's advocate here and push back on this value proposition. Let's look at the upper end of that 20 to 80% range.
Okay, let's do the math.
Let's say we're looking at a $1,000 standard economy fare. An 80% markup is an extra $800. For $800, I can buy top-tier noise-canceling headphones, I can get a heavy-duty prescription sleep aid from my doctor, and I can book a massive 2-hour deep tissue massage the minute I land.
I see where you're going with this.
Right. And I would still have like $400 left over. Why give that cash to the airline for just a few extra inches of foam and a curtain?
It is a very rigorous way to calculate the cost. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But you're calculating the cost of distraction, not the cost of physical recovery.
Okay, fair.
High-end headphones mask the engine noise, sure, but they don't stop the spinal compression or the circulatory restriction of sitting in a 17-inch wide space for a whole day.
That's a good point.
However, your pushback perfectly illustrates the flight duration rule from the article. If your flight is under 4 hours, you are completely right. Keep your $800.
Because the time in the seat is too short to really reap any physiological benefits, right?
Exactly. By the time they serve the enhanced meal and you finally recline your seat, the pilot is coming over the intercom to announce the initial descent.
The return on investment for short hops is just abysmal.
It really is. But look at the 10 to 17-hour long-haul routes, flights from India to the U.S. or Europe or Australia.
Those are brutal.
Right, because you are no longer just traveling at that point. Your body is enduring prolonged physical stress. Upgrading on these ultra-long-haul routes is the difference between arriving at your destination completely broken, needing 2 days of hotel rest just to recover, versus arriving functional and ready to actually operate.
That makes total sense. But we have to talk about the pricing itself, because that 20 to 80% range you mentioned, it's not static. It's not like looking at a fixed menu price at a restaurant.
No, not at all. It is highly dynamic. Airline revenue management algorithms are constantly adjusting those prices in real time.
It's basically a game.
It is a game of yield management. They are trying to squeeze the absolute maximum value out of passengers who outright refuse to pay for business class, but are desperate enough for legroom to pay some sort of premium.
Which is exactly why tracking price fluctuations is essential. I mean, you might check your route on a Tuesday and the upgrade is demanding that full $800 markup.
Right.
But then you check a week later, the algorithm realizes they really need to fill those premium seats, and the markup over economy drops to like a 20% premium. At that point, buying it becomes a mathematical no-brainer.
Which is why setting up automated price alerts on booking platforms like Skyscanner is absolutely critical. You let the software watch that algorithmic curve for you.
Work smarter, not harder.
Exactly. But before you click buy on that discounted premium fare, there is a massive caveat regarding the airport experience that traps a lot of travelers.
Oh, the lounge access.
Yes. When people see the word premium, they instinctively assume it includes access to the airline's VIP lounge.
Oh, I have literally seen people fall for this in real time at the airport.
It's so awkward.
It is. They strut up to the frosted glass doors of the lounge with their premium economy boarding pass, fully expecting complimentary cocktails and a buffet, and they get turned right around by the desk agent. Lounge access is absolutely not a guarantee.
The policies are heavily restricted because lounges are dealing with severe capacity issues globally right now.
Right, they're packed.
So some airlines might include it, some might offer you a day pass at a discounted rate, and others offer absolutely nothing. You will be sitting at the crowded gate with everyone else. You really have to read the fine print of the specific ticket class.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. If we look at who is actually executing this product best for Indian travelers, we shouldn't just list them off on a map. We need to look at what you, the passenger, actually care about. What is your core motivation?
I love this approach.
Because, for instance, if your primary goal on a 15-hour flight is maximizing sleep, Your strategy changes entirely. You don't care about a fancy amenity kit or complimentary champagne. You care about the physical mechanics of the seat.
And this is exactly where Emirates aggressively breaks the industry standard.
They really do.
They offer this product on select routes connecting through Dubai. The pitch, which, just as a quick reminder, is the distance from any point on one seat to the exact same point on the seat in front of it, is a massive 40 inches.
40 inches is huge.
It's massive. But the real disruptor here is the recline. They offer a near-flat recline.
That is wild to me because airlines usually terrified of doing that. It is the classic cannibalization problem in business.
Yes, exactly.
Because if a corporate traveler can get a near-flat bed in premium economy for, half the price, why would their accounting department ever authorize a business class ticket again?
They wouldn't. It is a massive financial risk for the airline to make the middle tier too comfortable. The industry term for it is business class light, and airlines try to avoid it at all costs.
Right, they want to upsell economy passengers, not downsell business class passengers.
Precisely. So Emirates offering a near-flat recline at a premium economy price point is just an unbelievable structural value for the passenger. And on top of that, they even serve their meals on actual crockery.
Oh, nice touch.
Yeah, it elevates the psychological dining experience from a sad cafeteria tray to feeling more like a restaurant table.
But what if your motivation isn't just sleep? Like, what if you are traveling with a partner and your core motivation is space and geometry? I was looking at Singapore Airlines Boeing 777 configuration in the article. They use a 242 layout. And mathematically, that is a huge tactical advantage for couples.
Oh, it changes everything. The geometry of the cabin layout dictates the flow of the entire flight. In a standard, say, 333 economy layout, if you are a couple sitting by the window, someone is always climbing over a stranger to use the restroom.
Or a stranger is waking you up to climb over you. It's terrible.
Yeah, exactly. With a 242 layout, you grab those two side seats, and you basically have total perimeter control.
Yes, you completely eliminate the excuse me dance in the middle of the night entirely.
Yeah.
You control your access to the aisle.
And their physical specs back up that space, too. They have a 19.5-inch seat width, a 38-inch pitch, and an 8-inch recline. But Singapore Airlines also tackles another major long-haul pain point: the biological reality of airplane food.
Oh, this is fascinating.
They offer a book-the-cook service on qualifying routes, which allows you to pre-order specific high-end meals before you even reach the airport.
Which is so smart when you consider the chemistry of eating at altitude. Like, at 35,000 feet, the pressurized cabin air is roughly equivalent to being at an 8,000-foot mountain elevation.
Right.
And the humidity drops to around 12%, which is literally drier than most deserts. That environment physically dulls your olfactory receptors and your taste buds. Your perception of saltiness and sweetness drops by about 30%.
It's wild. So airlines generally have to drastically over-season standard economy food just to make it taste like anything at all.
Otherwise, it tastes like cardboard.
Pretty much. So getting a customized, specifically engineered meal in premium economy is a major biological perk because the food is actually designed for that exact pressurized environment.
And speaking of high-quality dining engineered for altitude, Japan Airlines, or JAL, is recognized heavily for this as well. They actually took second place in the 2025 Skytrax World's Best Premium Economy Class Airlines Awards.
They have a very solid product.
Yeah, they match that 38-inch pitch and 8-inch recline, but they add personal footrests and massive touchscreens, which is great for the entertainment factor.
Okay, so we've covered sleep, and we've covered spatial geometry and food. But what about the travelers whose core motivation is relocation?
Oh, the heavy packers.
Exactly. We're talking about students heading overseas to university, expats moving for a new tech job, or just someone taking a 2-month extended trip. The motivation there isn't just personal comfort, it's cargo capacity.
This completely changes the math on the ticket price. This brings us to European carriers like Lufthansa and Air France. Lufthansa treats this cabin, specifically when flying via Frankfurt or Munich, as a fully separate class.
It's not just an afterthought for them.
Right. They offer roughly 50% more physical space than their standard economy. But the most striking feature is their luggage policy.
Yes, they give premium economy passengers 2 free check bags weighing 23 kilograms each. That is double the standard international economy allowance.
Which is massive. I mean, if you look at the raw economics of shipping an extra 23 kilograms of freight internationally, it is outrageously expensive.
Oh, easily.
If you tried to box up 50 pounds of clothes and books and ship it via a courier like FedEx or DHL to Germany, it would easily cost you hundreds of dollars. By giving you that second heavy bag for free, the ticket upgrade essentially pays for itself in raw freight value alone.
It completely shifts the cost-benefit equation from a luxury purchase to a logical logistical
It's
savings.
practically a life hack at that point.
It really is.
Yeah.
Now, Air France offers that exact same double 23-kilogram baggage allowance when connecting through Paris. But they cater to a very different sensibility in the cabin itself.
Right, it's the foodie option. You get the wider seat, you get the deep recline and the personal footrest, but the standout amenity is the complimentary champagne.
A very nice touch.
Yeah, you sit down, put your feet up, and sip champagne before takeoff. It is a very deliberate psychological effort to make the flight feel like the actual beginning of your vacation rather than just a necessary, painful evil you have to endure to get there.
It sets a completely different mood. Finally, we should probably touch on the direct routes out of India and those massive hauls down to the southern hemisphere.
Yeah,
Air India provides a very competitive offering for direct, nonstop flights to the UK, the US, and Europe. They've upgraded the legroom, the screens, and the meal service significantly compared to their standard cabin.
and the value of a direct route really can't be overstated. Skipping a layover entirely removes the physiological toll of deplaning, navigating a massive foreign terminal at 3 a.m., and then reboarding.
It saves so much energy.
It's huge. And for the Australia routes, Qantas gives you highly engineered ergonomic seats and an on-demand food menu. But this is the perfect time to remind you about that lounge caveat we discussed earlier.
Yes, this is the prime example. With Qantas, you absolutely cannot get into their lounge with just a premium economy ticket.
No exceptions.
Right. Unless you hold gold status or higher in their specific frequent flyer program, that ticket alone will not open those frosted glass doors. The lounges are strictly capacity controlled to protect the experience of their elite tier members.
So it really is a highly fragmented market. You have to align the airline's specific mechanical and service perks with your core travel motivation. You can't just assume premium means the same thing across the board.
Exactly. You have to know what you're buying.
So what does this all mean? If we pull all these threads together for you as you plan your next trip.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it means that premium economy is no longer just a clever marketing gimmick to sell an extra inch of foam. It has evolved into a highly engineered, calculated investment.
It's a real product now.
It is. If you are flying 15 hours to New York or San Francisco and you strategically use price tracking algorithms to find a fare that is only, say, 30% more than economy, you are buying a fundamentally different physiological experience.
Yeah.
You're buying the ability to function the day you land without having to completely drain your savings for a business class bed.
But it requires you to actively manage your booking. You have to verify the specific seat pitch, you have to do the math on the baggage allowance if you're moving, and you have to accept the reality of the lounge policies.
You really have to do the homework.
Right. You have to make sure you are actually buying the corner desk and not just a slightly wider cubicle.
And this raises a really important question to consider as we watch the aviation industry evolve. I mean, airlines like Emirates are now offering near-flat reclines and massive 40-inch spaces in this middle tier.
Which is still hard to believe.
The product is becoming incredibly robust, almost mirroring what business class used to be, like 20 years ago. Will this level of comfort eventually become the new normal standard for anyone who actually wants to enjoy their flight?
That's a good question.
Right. And if so, does that give airlines the financial incentive to push basic economy into something even more uncomfortably bare bones, essentially forcing you to upgrade just to survive the journey?
Oh, wow. That is a terrifying yet completely logical thought to end on. The creeping necessity of the upgrade. As the middle tier gets better, the bottom tier might just become a cargo hold with seatbelts.
It's entirely possible.
Definitely something for you to mull over the next time you are comparing flight prices and watching those dynamic algorithms fluctuate on your screen. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the physical architecture and economics of airplane seating. Keep exploring, stay curious, and safe travels on your next long-haul adventure. We'll catch you on the next one.